Good morning, guys. I hope you guys had a great day. I really didn't sleep all night. I was just doing research, more and more research, a lot of reading and studying. Um, but the CPI numbers are out. So far, the market has reacted very good to it, to the upside, right? Huge moves pre-market, especially with SPY, is trading near all-time highs of 470. Now, I'll go over some ES numbers after. Just give me 1 second. But on SPY, I just want to let you guys know if we take out yesterday's high, which was 469 and 63, and we take out 470 in the morning. Let's say, for example, looking at a bullish bias. Let's say, for example, right? And if we hold above 470, so I'll just write this down here. If we hold above 470, we're likely to continue higher into FOMC, okay? And then their comments will depend what happens after. However, if 470 fails here, if 470 fails and we give some dips and we don't hold, then there's a good chance that we come and fill this gap, and then we probably see much lower also. So I'm open to both. I'm open to the upside and the downside. Over the weekend, I would personally avoid holding positions. Today is Friday. With the numbers out now, with certain levels, you can catch many moves as a lotto, right? Because the market may probably continue in one direction today. It's a possibility, unless we gap up now, we go up, and then they want to sell above this, because we do have selling pressure right here above 471, right? And they want to take us up and then boom, sell it later on in the day, which is a possibility. Some news may come out, anything can happen. If something like this happens, then that could be a possible double top on ES, okay? Just keep that in mind. All right, don't get too excited just because we are 470. If you're in some long positions, this is the time to manage. Maybe break even, buy more time, or do what you want to do as per your account. All right, but 470 will be very hard. Let's see what happens. 470 hold, we go higher, and the ES numbers today that we have. To the downside, we have 4650 first. If we break 4650, then the market likely wants much lower in the coming days. Just know this, okay? So 4650 is a must hold. Underneath, we have 4600 and then probably 4400s in a week or two. All right, so 4650 is a must hold. Through 4700, we have 4750 and all-time highs. All right, and all-time highs. And the expected range today that we have, it's roughly, it's in our gamma report. If you read it, where's the percentage here? Okay, so we're expecting only 0.5% move, but obviously with the pre-market, it's already, this would have changed, right? So let's see what happens today. It could be a great Lotto Friday. I'll go over some stocks that we can play, so let's see. Tech, same thing. I won't spend too much time on Qs. It's similar as the SPY. Basically, we're near all-time highs, and if we take above 400 and we hold above 400, we likely see much higher. All right. So a similar thing just to ES for now. All right, earnings. Costco. So I read the report. I think this is one of the best companies out there. If somebody asked me was the number one company that you would invest in long term, like down the road for 5-10 years, and I want my money to be saved, it's probably Costco, right? Costco, maybe even more than Apple, I think. The only issues here are supply chain and inflation issues, but this is just an amazing company. So their revenues are up 16.5% year over year, very constant, very good, and their revenue from memberships, they're up. Right, the actually percentage has increased, so which is very good. They beat the estimates from the membership revenues, because Costco, majority of their revenues, a big chunk comes from the membership, and that has increased, right? And by the end of this year, they're planning on opening 19 net units of Costco, which is huge. And I think they're planning on expanding more into other parts of the world, so which is great. And they beat their earnings. Somebody asked me, what will the 535s open up at? Now, one thing that you need to understand, 575s, 535 calls, all right, they were trading at $4.75 at close from the price that I just checked. Number one, the value of these calls, because today is Friday, they're expiring. You need to understand the break-even value or stock price is 535 plus 475 is $39.75. Sorry, 539.75. Now you need to understand, Costco closed at 525. Is it going to make a $15 move on earnings? It's possible, right? And then this is the intrinsic value. Now at the open, the theta on these were $1, right? It was roughly a 98 cents, $1. So you're already 375 at break even. The delta they say was 0.37. which I don't believe is going to come true because Costco's up almost $10, so there should be an increase of roughly $4 plus, including the gamma increase on every $1, right? So you're looking at $8.75 open, but I highly doubt that you're not going to get this. They're not going to give you 8.75 at the open on 532 Costco open. Personally, if you get $5.50, $6 on Costco 535 calls, I would take my profits and see what happens. Unless it runs all day, that's a different story. If you believe the stock's going to run, it's going to go through 540, 545, then I would hold. But I think these calls were too expensive to buy for earnings, right? So just manage. That's all I can say. If Costco takes out 540 and it shows strength and we go up all day, then yes, these calls you can make money. But at the open, I don't think you're going to get 875. You're probably going to get 556. I may be wrong, but around there. And that too for the first 5, 10, 15 minutes. And if Costco dips below 530, the premium will die a lot. You will actually be at a loss, even though Costco will be up from the closing price. So just manage this, right? Then we have Broadcom. Great earnings. They beat their estimates. They beat their revenues. Most of their the part that was stronger in their revenue was their cloud computing business customers, right? That's where most of their revenue came from, the increase. And they also raised their forecast. When the company raises their guidance, their forecast, what we have seen this year is that they rip it. All right, and the same thing will happen with this. Pre-market is trading up high 623, and if we go on the weekly chart, it's at all-time highs. Do we continue going up or do we come down? Personally, with the CPI in line, right, there's a good chance that it might dip a little bit and then take out the pre-market highs of about 630. If it takes out 630, we can probably see 650 to the upside. If the market gives up gains, then this likely gives up all gains all day. All right, I would not buy it at the open. I would wait until 10, 10:30, 10:45, see how the market reacts. Around 11 o'clock, 11:30, 12, we may have some lotto plays depending on how the market is going to hold. So we have to be very patient. But this is great for LRCX, I think, and QCOM also, this company. Oracle, again, they reported great numbers, right? And on their numbers, they increased their repurchase program by $10 billion, which is another huge positive. And then they also raised their guidance, right? So anything that raised their guidance is strong. Oracle, I believe, is opening at all-time highs today, right? And Oracle, if it continues holding above, there's $98, the previous high. If it continues holding above the $98, we can probably see much higher. However, if it gives up gains here, then we might have a similar action to CRM earnings that happened. You guys remember CRM here, right? Then something like this might happen for some time, and then a rip. All right. So Oracle, personally, I would not play right off the open unless the market is strong and it stays above 98, 100. Then maybe we might see 102, 103, 104. All right. So Oracle, they did great on their earnings. I'm just going to wait for a nice little setup, see what the FOMC has to say next week, and then maybe something like this I'll play. Lululemon, they beat their earnings. They did beat their earnings. The only thing is, the comments that they made was with the supply chain issues, right? So they said, no, sorry, not supply chain, of the COVID, that if we have to close down our stores, if the COVID emerges more, if it's stronger, anything like that happens, then our revenues for the next quarter will be cut down, right? So they gave those negative fear comments. Don't know why they would bring COVID in here. Things are open, not much is closing, but again, fine, I agree with them. It's on a downtrend. If we look at the weekly chart, the technicals say that this might go into a chop for some time. So Lululemon, I would not play to the long side, not even close. It's probably going to chop here for some weeks, and then we see how it sets up. And until next quarter, this stock is not going to break new highs, if based on their comments. And if everything's open, stores are open, then obviously positive sentiment will kick in, and we might get the weekly 50 DMA touch and then rip up. So maybe in Jan and Feb, this stock might be in play, depending on how it sets up on the weekly. But a very easy trade, just wait for it to come to the 50 DMA and see how the market reacts, and then you can play the bounce. I think that's the easiest trade I see on this. So usually it bounces off from the 50 DMA. And then we have Chui, CHWY. I couldn't read my own writing. Another stock in the COVID which ran up a lot, right? 120, gave up gains. They tried bringing it back up and then gave up gains. Tried flagging it, it didn't work. They completely failed it. And now They also said their profits were down. Even though I think they beat earnings. I didn't write that down here, but I think they beat. But their profits were lower than expected, and their comments were that labor and supply chain issues are impacting their profits. All right, so which is not good. But on the weekly, is nothing at a support level, and I think this stock is going to be done for many weeks to come, or maybe a few months. So personally, I will avoid this stock. I do see this stock just a pattern from forming. I do this stock stuck in mud for many months until they report some very good numbers, and then maybe after 6 8 months this stock might move. But for now, it's completely done in my opinion. Just by looking at the technicals here, I don't think we should see a V-shaped recovery on this. So no point of going long in my opinion unless it's able to break 60 and hold above 60 for at least a month, right? So don't get stuck in these stocks, and I would personally just avoid for now. It may be a great company, but wait for 1 2 earnings. Their numbers have to go up by a lot in order to justify their stock price. All right. Now, some stocks. Amazon, up nicely pre-market. It's very up. I think it's up 30 bucks last I checked. But the one number that you guys, man, okay, I'm gonna remove all my primes. I'll do it all over again. But one thing that you guys need to know, if you're playing weekly lottos, 35.20 is a must hold today. And today, if we take out 35.45-ish, right, $1 2 off here and there, we likely see 35.70 plus. All right. So this might happen around noon. This might happen right at the opening, where they might just take it up. I have no idea. All right. But 35.40-ish, if we hold, I think it can set up for a great lot around 12.31. And I don't want to play no more than $2 for my lotto, depending on the strike. All right, because for 5 minutes or 15 minutes, then the stock goes sideways or down, these lottos will be cut down to one. All right, so don't buy heavy. Don't buy too expensive too early. Around 12:31, we might see a lotto play on Amazon. All right, so keep an eye on it. It will be, and I will only take it if I see a potential 500%, 1,000% on it. Only then I would play a lot on Amazon, or else it's not worth risking my money. And obviously, the overall market sentiment matters. But what do I? And those that are watching for the first time, if you want a confirmed trade on Amazon, you should know the numbers by heart. 37.60. You open the chart. 37.65. You keep your eyes on it, right? And 37.75 plus, I will be the first one to press the trigger on this. I will go long. About 2 3 weeks out, I'll probably go 3,900, 3,850 calls. All right, a likely trade to work. All right, that's when all the sellers are gone. It's nothing but buyers. All right, and then all those price targets that we've been seeing, 4,000, 4,500, 5,000, they come in play. And another best thing about Amazon right now here, if you see higher lows on the weekly, higher lows. And now another thing that you want to analyze on this chart is a patient play that is holding in this upper range now. All right, it's trying to hold in this upper range. All right, not in this range right here. All right, it's trying to hold in this upper range, which is good. So we take out this, and then we have more buyers. Tesla, Musk sold some more shares, and look how beautiful this drawing is. I say it every day in the pre-market, right? And so this is nearing to an end. In another week or two, Tesla is going to break to the one side or upside or downside. I have no idea. Based on how Musk is reacting or his tweets, looks like he wants to break the stock down, and I'm betting myself to downside, maybe 900, 880. I would say fill these gaps, make a little circular pattern here. I could be completely wrong. Right, do something like this and make this pattern right here circular, and then maybe it gives us a chance to play to 1160, 1200, and then it goes in chop again. Right, I don't see all-time highs coming on Tesla anytime soon. That's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. Right, when this stock runs, it runs. But I will be very patient going long on Tesla. Just know this. All right. And then we have Google, absolute monster, very strong. Yesterday, a lot of candles. They gave us this candle, signaling possible reversals. But Google's opening up also. If Google takes out 3,000, guys, if Google holds above 3,000, if Google holds above 3,000, we might get all-time highs and blue skies break out. Right now, with the CPI numbers in line, we're only looking at, not only, but we're just seeing mainly upside. But these levels need to hold. If these levels are not held, then a dump is also possible in the market. What happens? I have no idea. I'm just gonna play level to level. We have more chances of being right. There's no point of being Don't get married to your positions. Don't just look one way. Anything is possible. We do have FOMC next week. Let's see how the market reacts to that. Maybe Monday we sell off, or maybe Tuesday we sell off. I have no idea, right? But for now, the market reacted good to the CPI numbers. Play your levels. If you're in long positions, this is a chance. It's an opportunity for you to manage your positions if you were down, and if you were already up and you're holding your positions, this is the time to scale out of your positions. Take advantage of this gap up. All right. No idea what happens here. Do we hold? Do we sell off? I have zero idea. I'm just playing level to level. God bless. See you guys back in the chat, live voice chat. If you have your friends, anyone that trades, our premium will be open until 4 o'clock today. And join the voice chat. Let's see what we can do today. And good luck. Manage. Do not force any trades. Take a lotto if it's confirmed. If you worked on the technicals and you see something. Don't have a FOMO lotto. If you have a FOMO lotto, the market will slap you. All right, guys.